What if we told you that soulmates exist, but everything you have been taught about them is a beautiful lie? This lie is designed to keep you searching outside yourself for completion you already possess. Welcome to another paradox that will challenge everything popular spirituality has fed us about love and connection. Some time ago, media outlets were consumed by a tragic story of obsession disguised as love. A young man held his ex-girlfriend captive, claiming he did it all for love, convinced she was his soulmate. The public was horrified, yet simultaneously fascinated by this twisted interpretation of what many consider the ultimate romantic ideal. This case reveals something disturbing about our collective understanding of soulmates. We have been sold a myth so seductive, so perfectly crafted to feed our deepest longings. We rarely question its validity, believing that somewhere out there exists one perfect person who will complete us. This belief makes us whole and provides eternal happiness, becoming the foundation of modern romance. But here is where certainty goes to die. What if this entire concept is not just wrong? What if it is actively harmful to our spiritual evolution and well-being? What if the very search for a soulmate as a romantic completion is keeping us trapped? We find ourselves in cycles of dependency, projection, and ultimately disappointment. We challenge popular spiritual beliefs, not to be contrarian, but because truth often hides behind beautiful lies. The soulmate myth operates on a fundamental misunderstanding of wholeness. It suggests that we are incomplete beings, walking around with missing pieces. These pieces can only be filled by finding our perfect romantic match. This creates what we call the external happiness trap. We project our capacity for joy, peace, and fulfillment onto another person. Think about the language we use around romantic love. We speak of our other half, of being completed by someone. We talk about finding the person who makes us whole. Every romantic comedy, every love song, every fairy tale reinforces this narrative. It is a narrative of incompleteness seeking completion through union with another. But here is the paradox within the paradox. When we operate from a place of incompleteness, we attract others who are equally incomplete. Two halves do not make a whole in consciousness. They make two people desperately clinging to each other. They hope the other will fill the void they feel within themselves. Research consistently shows that passionate romantic love burns out within 6 months to 2 years. This is not a failure of love, but a natural consequence of relationships. These relationships are built on energetic consumption rather than conscious creation. When we base relationships on filling our emptiness, we create energetic vampirism. Each person unconsciously drains the other, seeking to extract happiness. They seek validation and a sense of worth they believe they lack. This is why so many relationships that begin with intense passion end in resentment. So if soulmates as romantic completion is a myth, what is the true function of intimate partnership? The answer reveals another beautiful paradox. Relationships exist not to complete us, but to show us where we are already complete. They serve as mirrors, reflecting back our unconscious patterns, our hidden fears, and our unlived potentials. The person we are most drawn to romantically often carries the exact qualities we have disowned within ourselves. The very traits that attract us initially are frequently the same ones that later trigger our deepest frustrations. This is not cosmic cruelty, but cosmic intelligence at work. Every conflict in relationship is an invitation to reclaim a part of ourselves we have projected onto our partner. When we feel triggered by their behavior, we are actually meeting an aspect of our own shadow. This is why conscious relationships require such courage. They demand that we take responsibility for our own emotional landscape rather than making our partner responsible. True partnership becomes an alchemical process where two whole beings choose to evolve together. Instead of seeking completion from each other, they offer their completeness in service of something greater. This transforms love from a transaction based on need into a creation based on choice. Now we arrive at the deeper truth that popular spirituality rarely touches. Soulmates do exist, but not in the way we have been taught to recognize them. They are not necessarily romantic partners destined to complete us. They are souls who originate from the same spiritual source, what esoteric traditions call the same monad. A monad is like a spiritual family, a cluster of consciousness that chose to explore different aspects of existence. Think of it as one diamond with many facets, each facet experiencing life from a unique perspective. These monadic souls can incarnate as romantic partners, but they can just as easily appear as best friends. They can also be family members, mentors, or even apparent enemies who challenge us toward growth. The connection between monadic souls transcends the romantic ideal because it operates on the level of essence. Recognition of a true soulmate, a monadic connection, feels different from romantic attraction. It carries a quality of instant familiarity, as if you are remembering rather than meeting for the first time. There is often an immediate sense of safety and understanding that defies logical explanation. But here is the ultimate paradox. You cannot recognize your true soul connections until you have first become whole. The very search for completion through another creates energetic static that obscures our ability to perceive these deeper bonds. In our upcoming explorations, we will dive deeper into the nature of monadic consciousness. We will explore how to recognize genuine soul connections beyond romantic projection. We will also discuss why your greatest soulmate might be the person who challenges you most intensely. Until then, consider this invitation. What if you stopped searching for someone to complete you? What if you started celebrating the completeness you already are? What if your next relationship began not from need, but from the overflow of your own wholeness? The paradox of soulmates reveals itself only when we stop seeking them and start becoming them.